Hi everybody. Welcome to Aimee Nolte Music. I'm sorry, I have Girl from Ipanema playing in the background, so I just kind of felt like I owed you guys one of these. I'm back. What I would like to talk about today is phrasing. Whether you're a singer or an instrumentalist, you have to think about it. And today, the thing that I'd like to talk about isn't note choice or even rhythm so much as it is just feeling. I'd like to talk about phrasing right in the time. I'd also like to talk about phrasing ahead of the time, and I'd like to talk about phrasing behind the time. I'm actually gonna just use my camera like this, or the frame of reference, to show you what I'm doing when I'm doing it. So when I sing in the time and give you examples, I'm gonna be right here in the middle, and when I sing behind, I'm gonna go over here and ahead over here like that. And it's not ever actually something that I think about when I'm on the gig, but sometimes I practice it, and then when I'm on the gig, it'll just kind of come out naturally. Now, the one thing that isn't gonna change in this video is the band that's playing along. I've just got a play-along track, just playing right along with me, right? So that's a constant. It's the time. The time is constant, right? In general, yeah, time is constant. I have played with some bands before in the past where the time is not constant. Not for a long time, though. So, anyway, these guys, they're not gonna vary. They're just gonna play in time for me, right there. All right? I'm the one who's gonna change. And when you practice this, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about if you're getting it right or not, because there is no right. There's no right or wrong in this. It's only what you're feeling at the time. The only thing that could go wrong is if you actually lose your place in the form. Girl from Ipanema is a nice one to choose because the bridge sounds so different that it's pretty easy to find your place. But I would suggest picking a tune that you're completely comfortable in so that you don't lose your place. That's how you don't lose your place in tunes, by the way. Be comfortable with the tune the tunes that you choose. That means that you've heard them a lot of times. The more you hear a song, the less likely you are to lose your place. All right, so I think the top of the tune's coming around right here, and I'm just gonna sing right in time. Here we go. Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes, each one she passes goes ah. Let's go behind. When she walks just like a song, but it swings so cool and sways so gently, that when she passes, each one she passes goes ah. Let's go ahead. Oh, how he watches so sadly. How can he tell her he loves her? Yes, he would give his heart gladly. Let's go back in time. But each day when she walks to the sea, she looks straight ahead, not ahead. You see how that works? It's cool, right? And kind of easy. You know, you can also do it when you improvise. And I'm gonna show you right now how to do it in the time and how to do it behind the time. We'll talk about ahead in a second. Here's da 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 da. Now, singing ahead of the time is a little bit tricky. It's harder. What I'm gonna suggest for it is if you want to get ahead of the times, man, you pick a motif that you're gonna sing, and then you jump the gun on it. So, let's see. I'm gonna pick a motif right at the beginning of this next A section, and then I'm gonna start trying to sing it ahead of the time. Let's go. So if you pick something that you know you're gonna do, it's a little bit easier to move it ahead of the time than to just try to be random with it. You can also do the same thing to go behind the time. Da, 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 da. You can be a little slippy and slidey when you go behind the time. La 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 la. I might give one of these while you do it. I was writing the time right there, but my notes kind of jumped the gun. Sometimes I was better at it than other times. But you can practice this, and definitely don't want to move from side to side while you're on the stage or anything. Wouldn't that be so funny if somebody had their trumpet and they were all do, 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 blah, 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 blah. Don't do it. Not a good idea. But and even when I practice, of course, I don't move back and forth. Maybe if you're a very visual learner, that could help you, but usually I'm just practicing it in my car. I put on a play-along track because, once again, constant time is the key with this. You don't want your time to vary at all. You're the one who varies. You. So, have a really good time with it. Maybe you can practice one day only being behind the time, and then the next day only being right in the time, and then the next day trying to be ahead of the time. Ahead of the time is the hardest, and it's probably the one that people do the least, and for good reason. It's something that should just be done sparingly, I think. And then, when you're on the gig, hopefully these things will just come right out in your playing. I know I always say that, but that's been the case for me. As long as I practice hard, they do just come right out when I'm playing. Those guys are done. I think I'll be done too. Thanks so much for being here today, and I'll see you next time on Aimee Nolte Music.